Hi and welcome to today's class. Today we're going to focus on mobility, so expanding the range of motion in our joints. The focus of today's mobility session will be our hips, so I hope you'll like this class. Join me on the mat. Before we get into our hips, let's begin with a tabletop position. And let's start with some cat and cow, gentle spinal movement. Inhale, look up and arch your back. And exhale, look towards your navel and round your spine. Continue like this. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 3 more. 2. And 1. Good. Now you can move your knees a little bit more back. We're going to move our hips back and forward. And you can try to dip your hips towards the floor and then move them back and forward. Try to spread your fingers wide on your yoga mat so that you press also your fingertips on the mat when you go forward with your hips. And we're going to do a few more like this. You don't have to go very deep with your hips. It's just to release our spine a little bit first before we get into our hips. Everything is connected in our body, so even if we focus on the hips or the spine, we're also working other parts of the body. So you may feel your arms as well in this exercise. Good. Let's do 3 more. 2. And 1. You can stay with your hips down, and now your feet can be as wide as your yoga mat, and just look back towards the feet, side to side. One knee can also be bent, and you can move like that. A few more. Feel free to do it as slow as you like. Okay, 1 more. And then shift your hips back. Sit low with your sit bones towards your heels. You can stretch your arms forward. Take a few more breaths here. Deep breath in. And a slow breath out. Good. We're going back on to all fours. And from this position, we're going to bring our right knee up towards the side. The knee is bent 90 degrees, more or less. The foot can be flexed or pointed. If this is too much for your wrists, you can also do this one on your forearms. So choose your variation. We begin to make circles. So imagine your knee is like a brush, and you want to paint a few circles with your knee. Try not to sink only to one side of your body, so press down evenly through both palms. Let's do 3 more. 2. And now change the direction. 5. 4. Big circles. A few more. 2. And 1. Good. Move your knee back down and we change the side. Now I'll switch my side so you see me from here. Move your knee out to the side. Foot is pointed or flexed. And big circles. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Change. So we try to expand the range of motion in our hip joint. So see if you can try hitting a little bigger circle each time with each repetition. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax. Now we're going to bring the right leg back. You can first just okay, for the next one, you're going to bring your right leg behind you like this, as if you wanted to squeeze your legs together. And now the right leg is going to go to the right side, and you try to bring it towards the right elbow. I'll show you from the side. So first the right leg goes back to the left side. You can look towards your foot. Then you're going to shift it to the right and right knee to the right elbow. If this is not possible, you can just rest your right foot on the floor. So you're going to make this circular movement here and hit your elbow or the tricep. Okay, let's make 4 more. 3. Exhale, knee to elbow. And 1. Try to hold it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right leg out to the side. And now we're going to move with our spine again, like cat and cow, like we did at the beginning, but with the right leg out to the side. Inhale to look up. Exhale to round the back. Nice. And now move your hips back and forward. Good. A few more. And then stay with your hips towards your left heel, arms forward. Give a rest to your wrists. Very nice. Inhale to come up. And this time, you're going to bring your right knee behind your left knee, as if you were sitting on a chair with your legs crossed. Okay, and now feet out to the side, knees together. And same here, we're going to move the hips back and forward. So this is a different rotation in our hip joint. That's the internal rotation. And we want to sink our hips, our buttocks towards the floor. Each time you move your hips down and back, see if you can try to sink them a little bit more than before. And at some point, you may like to completely rest your hips down towards the floor. In yoga, this position is called Gomukhasana, cow face pose. We can add an arm stretch, shoulder stretch here. So now the left knee is on top, the right arm will go up. You bend your right knee, your right elbow, and you place your right hand between your shoulder blades. Now you try to catch your right hand with your left hand from the back. If that's not possible, then just hold your right elbow with your left hand and stay here. Press your sit bones down and lift the crown of your head up. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. All right, let's change the side. So now we take the left leg to the right. And then we exhale, left knee to left elbow or the left tricep. Inhale. And exhale. In and out. In and out. And 2 more. And last one. Try to hold your left knee towards your left tricep. Press both hands down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Left leg out to the side. Your left foot is more or less in line with your right knee. And now we're going to move the hips back and forward. A few more times. Our left hip being in external rotation. Good. And then you can stay with your hips down. You can walk your hands forward. Try to keep your left foot flexed with toes pointing up towards the ceiling or with toes pressing down towards the floor. We try to keep the left leg engaged, meaning the front of your thigh, the quadriceps are staying active, the muscles here. Take a few more breaths. 1. Sink your hips down. 2. And 3. Come back to center and now bring the left knee behind the right knee and try to spread your feet out to the side. Same here, we're going to move gradually into this pose. Trying to sink the hips down and then lift them up, and with each repetition maybe you'll be able to sink your hips lower and lower and lower. So we move the hips back and down. And then if you feel like you want to stay here, you can stay in this Gomukhasana. Right knee is on top, left arm up, left hand between the shoulder blades. You can assist here with the right hand on your elbow, or you can try catching the hand from the back. It's important to keep your sit bones heavy here. So we want to really sink with the sit bones down to the floor and reach the crown of the head up so that we stack our chest and our head on top of our hips, on top of our pelvis. Try to relax here. Take a deep breath in. Slow breath out. One more like this. And exhale. Slowly, gently release. Good. Let's move to all fours. Once more. Maybe you like to go to a short downward dog just to stretch the legs. In downward dog, we press the hands down and we try to lift the hips up and back so that the hips are far away from our hands. Stay here for another deep breath in. Maybe you like to lift the right leg up for a moment. Feel the stretch in the back of your legs. And then bring your right knee towards your chest. Shift the weight of the body more forward and step the right foot between your hands. Good. Left knee down. We're going into this 90-90 stance where there is a 90 degree between your back and the front leg. We're going to place our hands on the hips. I would like you to keep your chest open, sternum up, shoulder blades gently towards each other and down towards the hips. Now we need some stability, and the stability will come from our strong legs. So I would like you to press firmly the right big toe down into the floor as we're going to move the hips down and forward and then back up. A few times like this. If you feel pain in your back knee, you can always place a blanket underneath your knee. And otherwise, just continue. So make sure that your knee is moving forward as well, not to the inside. Rather forward, same direction as your hips. We want to feel the stretch in the front of the left thigh. Good. Let's do 3 more. 2 and 1. Stay here. And I would like you to avoid collapsing onto your lower back. So that means that we want to lengthen. You can also place your hands here underneath your armpits and imagine someone is lifting you up. And you can also add arms here, reaching the arms up, little fingers touching. Stay here and allow your hips to move down and forward without forcing. Just let it come. With every exhale, feel the heaviness of your hips. We don't want to feel any pinching or burning sensations in the front of the left thigh and the hip. Inhale and exhale. Push away from the right foot and the hands go back onto our hips. Now we're going to place the foot into a more or less 45-degree angle. So the toes are looking into more 45-degree angle, and we're making the same movement, but just a different angle in the hip joint, okay? So now you can also rest your hand here if you find it comfortable, and a few more like this. Remember, in mobility, we try to expand the range of motion in our joints in mobility training. So see if with each repetition you can go a little deeper into this position. And you can stay a little longer here. Chest is open, shoulders relaxed. And now come up. And the last one is with the foot, right foot in line with your left knee, 90-degree angle. So it's kind of like warrior two. I'll show you from this side. Right foot in line with your knee. And you can also hold your hands on your hips or arms to the side. Make sure that your knee is not going inside, but is moving to the same direction as your knee, as your hip. Okay, you want to face, your navel wants to face forward. So for me, it's the longer edge of the mat. For you, it will be the shorter edge of the mat where your navel wants to point. And now we stay here. This is also a good mobility training for the ankle joint. Let's stay a little longer. Feel free to extend the arms to the side. Your palms can face up to the ceiling and then down. Inhale and exhale. Good. Let's change the sides. Left knee forward, left foot forward, hands on your hips. It's going to be a little bit more difficult if the arms are up. So in every mobility training, you can increase the intensity. So for example, this one could be more intense with the arms up, because then we need to continue keeping our torso straight and elongated. Or you lift the back knee off the floor and you try to do the same. So it's just an offer for you. Next time you click on this video, you can increase the intensity. Okay, now stay here, stay low, hips down and forward. Arms can lift up. And remember, you want to lift your ribs away from the hips. Try avoid collapsing onto your lower back. Stay here. Deep breath in. Slowly out. Push away from that left foot. And now change the angle. Okay, navel is looking forward. We just move the leg more out to the side. So how often can you do this mobility training? I would say you can do it every day, but I would switch the body parts. So for example, tomorrow you can do shoulders, or your back, your spine. Okay, stay a little longer. hold the stretch. And then week by week, you should be able to see a difference. Okay, last one. Left foot in line with the right knee. I'll show you from this side. Your navel is facing the same direction like before. So for you, it will be the shorter edge of your mat. Maybe the arms will go to the side. And now you can hold it passively, reaching the hips towards that left foot. It's also a nice stretch for the inner thigh and the other leg. Make sure your knee is not going to the inside. And then inhale and come up. Good. I definitely feel warmer around my hips. Good. Let's move once more to downward facing dog. Spread your palms on the mat. Push the palms into the floor and lift your hips up and back. You can bend one knee after the other. Cross your ankles and sit on the mat. Okay. We're going to place the hands in the back, push the hands into the mat, and now place your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Start moving your knees side to side. And add a twist. So we're moving the knees to one side, and then let's say the knees will go to the right side. My right hand will push against the left knee. I want to lift my sternum up, elongate my spine. And now switch. Nice. Good. Look forward. Lastly, we will do an active butterfly pose. The closer you bring your foot, the more intense it's going to be. Interlace your hands and catch your feet and try to lift your knees up and down. Just like that. I like to push my feet into my hands so that I also get a nice stretch for my shoulders and the neck muscles. Good. So I push my sit bones down and I try to elongate my spine. Let's continue for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now you're going to push your elbows down into your legs, and you're going to resist with your legs. So I push my arms down and I lift my legs up. So I create this resistance. No one is winning, everyone is working. The arms and the legs, they have a fight, but no one is winning. So let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and now passively, just rest your spine, around your spine, over your legs. Maybe you'll notice that your hip joint feels more released. Let's try it again. So now again, you push your arms down and the legs up, and no one is winning. Continue. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now release. And just move into a passive stretch. Nice. Last one we're going to do. you're going to bring the left knee bent forward and the right leg is back. So you're going to keep your left knee bent between your hands, and then you're going to bring the right leg forward behind the left knee, and then the right leg is going to move back. Okay, so it's like a pigeon pose, and here it's like the twist we do in yoga. But we're not going into the poses right now, we're just switching from one pose to another. Okay. Very good. Let's do 3 more. 2. Try not to use your arms. I know it's easier when you use them, but we just want to use the legs. Okay, last one. Stay in your pigeon. It's a nice stretch. I like to push my fingertips down and avoid sinking onto your left butt cheek. We want to keep our hips even, square to the front of the mat. You can add a quad stretch. And then release when you're ready. Bring the right leg forward and let's move on to that twist. We try to hug the right leg into our chest and just take a nice twist here. Good. Change the sides. You can go to plank or down dog. And then bring the right knee bent and then between your hands. Good. Now your left foot is going to go forward behind the right knee and then back. And here I try to lift from sinking onto that right hip. Okay, so moving the leg forward, sitting up straight, moving the leg back, and trying to keep my hips square to the front. So you also need strong back muscles to help you keep your spine lifted here. Everything takes time and practice and patience, so just continue doing this training, you will see the results. Be consistent. 3 more. 2. Last one. Stay in your pigeon. You can use your fingertips. Look back if your left leg is straight behind you. Chest looking forward towards the shorter edge of the mat. Good. I like to keep my chest up in this position. But you can also stay in the more passive stretch with your chest down towards the floor. Let's move the left leg forward into that twist. Hug your left leg towards your body. Sit up tall, shoulders back and down, and start twisting. Looking back on the exhale and on the inhale, reaching the crown up. And then slowly release. Thank you so much for joining me on this mobility training. I hope you had fun. I love mobility training, so maybe I can record some more content like this. Let me know in the comments if you liked it, and if you see any results of your consistent training. I hope to see you next time on the mat. Thank you. Namaste.